Good afternoon. I'm Barbara Vecchietti. I'm Vice President of EDGE, which is a brand new association in Italy of LGBT executives, managers, and professionals. But before that, I come from Italy. Italy is a country full of contradictions. And when I say Italy, probably some of you will think about some of the fantastic aspects of Italy, food, culture, or fashion. I'm quite sure that some other of you will think to other aspects that are a little bit contradictory about my country. You may think about mafia, about the importance of the Catholic religion, or about bunga bunga. Anyway, what you probably don't think about is that Italy is a place where there is a very thick and heavy glass ceiling. There are only 10% of women that has the possibility to be part of board of directors. And believe me, this is quite an achievement because a few years ago, the number was below 5%. And recently has been implemented a law that forces companies to have women in the board of directors. According to the World Economic Forum, that runs a very interesting analysis across the world, measuring the gaps in 135 countries in the world, what's called the gender gap. It's a measure of the access, the possibility that women have in their own country. They have, compared to their colleagues, male colleagues, in terms of access to political life, economic life, social and culture. Italy has a very pitiful position, and this position, rather than improving, is getting worse. In the last gender gap survey, it was ranked 80th. And being 80th in the rank means being just above countries where there is no freedom and women don't have the same rights than men. In my country, actually, in theory, we have the same rights, but these rights are not a reality. They're not implemented. And this is as far as women. And what about lesbians in Italy? Can you imagine? Lesbians simply don't exist. We don't have lesbians. Before coming here, I was making a survey among my straight friends, asking them, can you name me a lesbian that is not really successful, but known around? And no one was able to name one single lesbian. Then I went to my LGBT friends, making the same question, and the result was exactly the same. So, in such a context, is for women possible and for lesbians possible having a professional ambition, having the will to be have in the business or in the professional life the possibility to pursue satisfaction. Let me share one of the memories of my life. When I was a little girl, I was attending one of the teacher and parents meeting, and I was listening to my teacher talking to my mother. And I remember telling her, listen, your daughter, she's very gifted. She's a talented girl. She's intelligent like a boy. You know what? What's astonishing are not the words the teacher used, but the effect of that words had on me. I remember distinctively the pride I felt hearing those words. As a matter of fact, in such a context, if you're born and raised in such a context and you want to have a professional experience, you need to write your own words on a white paper. That's the point. You don't have a model, you don't have point of reference. So you have to write your own book. And what I would like today to do with you is to share my own experience. This is not supposed to be a manual of leadership. This is only what worked for me. As a manager, because I spent a lot of, most of my professional life being a manager, and as an entrepreneur. As a manager, I spent 20 years of my life being a manager in multinational companies. I get to executive jobs at my early 30s, and I was part of the board of directors before my 40s. So actually, as a matter of fact, I had a career that it's totally in contradiction with the statistics and the numbers you've seen related to my country. In my last job, I was commercial director of Johnson & Johnson, leading 250 people, doing what is supposed to be a male job. And this is what I've written on my white paper in order to throw out my careers, in order to be a leader. First of all, you have to build your credibility. And in order to build your credibility, you have to be competent. And to build your competence, doing jobs and taking jobs that allow you to be competent and be a credible leader. When you build your credibility, you have to walk the talk. You have to be coherent with yourself in order not to destroy the job you've done so far. If you do so, you will be able to lead by example. At the center point, you will become the model for other people, no matter male or women. You will become the model. You have to be demanding, of course, but you also have to be supportive. A mistake, it's not their mistake, it's your mistake. Your people need to believe on you and to feel that they can take their own risk because they know that you will be a support to them. Last but not least, you have to be a boss, not a friend. I know that there are a lot of theory about the fact that you have to build friendship and a very good relationship. It's not a matter of having a good relationship, but sooner or later you will have to take some tough calls on the people. And to me, that was important, having and trying to do my best to have my mind and my heart clear, to be perceived, honest and clear when I had to take tough calls. Then at a certain point, spending 20 years doing a manager, you start thinking, what about doing and using my talents to make my own business? And it happens that one day you realize you're falling in love with a fantastic woman that is sitting in the room with us. And you decide to leave your husband because you are married and to jump on a plane and go to the States, take a break, and make a fantastic journey across the States, coast to coast from San Francisco to Miami, like a Thelma and Louise stuff with a couple of differences. First of all, we didn't jump down the hill. Third, we were driving a red Mustang, not a green one. During this journey, we had an idea that we wanted to become our new business. We decided to found a company that now has 1.5 years life. It's called Food on the Road, and we prepare and deliver to the office gourmet and high-quality food. You know what, when we were working on that project, all the world around us was fighting, and everyone was surprised. We had a lot of negative hints around us. Are you mad? Are you really leaving your job? Are you really leaving your business card? You know what, I must say the problem in my family was much more concerned about the fact that I was leaving the job than about my change in my sexual orientation. I must be honest about it. So, because we are quite resolute people, we took the positive from all the negative hints we got, and we went on making our project much better than we were doing at the moment. In 1.5 years, we got a lot of satisfaction, a lot of attention from the media, and a lot of recognition. The only things we're not really satisfied of is the fact that in not single one of the articles that have been written about us, no one ever mentioned the fact that we are a couple. Because you know, Italy, lesbians don't exist. So, what are the magic words I've written on my white paper, talking about as an entrepreneur? If you have a vision, and we were talking about a few minutes ago, if you have the vision, you have to follow and work to make it reality. You have to put passion and heart on what you do. Take your risk. Be able to change the path if you're not satisfied. You have to be resolute, and first of all, you have to put a great amount of care on whatever you do. So going back to the question I made at the beginning, is it women leadership and women's success and lesbian success possible in a world and in a context where everything seems to say you know? My answer is yes. As long as you don't look and you don't focus on the ceiling, but you keep your eyes on the sky. Thank you.